Chaos continues in the House Speaker race. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries saying informal talks are underway for a potential bipartisan solution. In an NBC interview, Jeffries saying Democrats are ready, willing and able to find a solution and that they will formalize conversations today when they get back to the Capitol. Now, this comes as Representative Jim Jordan is nominated for the position, but he's still scraping for a majority of the House votes. Now, many in the GOP remain skeptical of the far-right lawmaker, but Jordan can only afford to have a couple of no votes if he wants to win. For more on this, Yahoo Finance reporter Rick Newman. Rick, I know you've been following all of this. It really begs the question, who wants this job? Why would someone want this position?
Well, we know there are at least three people who want the job. None of them have been able to get it so far. I guess I shouldn't count Jim Jordan out just yet. But right now they're going through all the counting on Capitol Hill. Jordan is trying to lobby people into his camp. And the problem for Jim Jordan is there are 15 to 20 so-called never Jordans who just will probably not vote for him no matter what. So he seems to be getting his tally up. But as you pointed out, he can only lose 4 Republican votes, assuming that he gets no Democratic votes, and he will not get any Democratic votes, assuming there is not some kind of deal with Democrats, which I don't think there ever could be, given that Jim Jordan is one of the more extreme conservatives in the House. So the best outcome here, I mean, for people who are really interested in all the behind-the-scenes geeky stuff, you can go on Twitter and look at all the excitement about how Jim Jordan, he got another vote here, he got another vote there. But it seems like the real outcome here is that Jim Jordan is not going to become speaker either. And then we have to figure out what comes next. If he doesn't get it, it's not that there's nobody else. There's no understudy, number 4, number 5, number 6 that seems ready to jump in, which means either the speaker pro tem, which is McHenry, they could try to find a way that he just sort of becomes the de facto speaker. Who knows if the parliamentary rules would allow that? Or you get to this other scenario you mentioned where there's some kind of compromise between moderate Republicans and Democrats. I don't think we're close to that either, though.
And I know there's been some talk about perhaps changing the rules on the number of votes, but if you have a very small faction that's ultra-conservative that was able to throttle Kevin McCarthy's leadership here, and then moderate candidates that don't seem to be doing well either, as well as your Jim Jordans, who would the ideal candidate be? I mean, you have Liz Cheney's name being thrown about.
That's what everybody wants to know, Rochelle. I mean, there's nobody. The ideal Republican is nobody. The Republicans really are functioning as 2 different parties. I mean, they are this rabble-rousing group inside the Republican Party that will not go along with the rest of the party for the sake of the party. This is the Tea Party wing, if you will. That's where it got started. And Democrats have a radical left wing too, which is the AOC, the Squad, the sort of Democratic Socialist group. But worth pointing out that when it came down to it, and Nancy Pelosi, when she was Speaker, when she needed those people to vote as Democrats for the sake of the party, they did. And Republicans are just not doing that. So I wish I had some better answer that, oh, yeah, we can all see how this gets resolved. We still cannot see how it gets resolved. It's 13 days without a speaker, the longest period of time since 1971. This could go on for another week. It could go on for another month. It could go on all the way until middle December when the funding bills expire, and then we have a government shutdown.
Goodness, it's like we get tired of saying, it's a first for this sort of thing, but this does seem to keep happening. Always appreciate your takes. Thanks you for joining us. Yahoo Finance reporter Rick Newman.